Wars Dark Forces first-person shooter from the 1990s. That level I made as an entry for the contest, map making contest organized by DF21, based on mines. And DF21, by the way, which is a Dark Forces community, go visit df21.net as written, as also shown on the screen. And it was the aim was to base the level around on the entry level on for the contest on mines, which is probably, but by far hands down the worst add-on custom level ever made for Dark Forces, and probably competes for the top 5 in gaming overall. Okay, so let's go. By the way, there will be all secrets and will be exposed here. So if you haven't played the level yet and intend to, there will be some spoilers. So keep that in mind. I'll show all the secrets there are in this level. Hello, DF21 folks at the chat. Good to see you. So let's go. I am recording, but thanks for reminder, Carpet. Okay, so here not much different than usual. It's fairly standard intro, nothing has changed. And yeah, let's begin with the briefing. So also nothing up until here, no special changes from mines. I just removed these introductory these tons of levels, and maybe you already had a look at this or maybe not, but I tried to build up some kind of a briefing which creates a story around the insane mines objectives on the planet of Fa, which is the only clue we have about the location of original mines, if it's even a location. But yeah, the general idea is, yeah, we've got another, believe it or not, we've got another set of another Death Star plans that need to be collected, and but there are some weird things going on with Empire experimenting with all kinds of things, among other things, creating space-time portals, and you need to investigate about it. So investigate anything you come across which may be related, and so on. Yeah, I guess it could have been without this, but yeah, here you go. Wanted to have something like a complete mission. Let's go. By the way, let me know if in the chat if my voice is too quiet or too loud, if I need to change anything in volumes. Okay, this is still mines for those who haven't played it. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the level. So one thing already that has to be taken in, which I had to take in mind into account when dealing with the level, is that already the red key can be obtained here, so it shouldn't be used later in the level. So I had to rely only on other two keys, on blue and yellow. Okay, nothing special here. I'll just take the revive to go with full shields and health there. And yeah, we pick here the infamous Death Star plans. By the way, they are really optional here, so you can finish the level even without picking them up. So when you reach the end of this level, it will say the objectives are complete, so that if you by some reason don't pick them up, you don't roam around the end area and think that you've forgotten something. So I can pick them up, but yeah, actually at the end of the day they are not needed. And here is where in the original level there's the door into the unknown. Here it's a portal towards the portal leading to the base. A little bit of sound effects. Yeah, stuff begins the level. This, let's say, what is added here begins with this fairly linear fairly linear architecture, because one entrance here is still blocked by the energy field, by the force field. But so the only way we can go is here, and we already are confronted by a couple of Imperial personnel. Okay, so for those who know me and my map making, my level making is this is fairly, yeah, this is almost my signature. I love doing these things with lights, where there are independent sectors of various lightings making this kind of effect. It's very sharp. Of course, in real life, these edges would never be as sharp. But yeah, it is what it is. Okay, so nothing special here at this moment. Still, there is no one. There is not much idea of what's happening. But here, the slave nicely introduces or explains everything.
You there? I'm not gonna harm you. I'm just a slave here. You don't look like an Imperial. Did you get teleported here through one of those weird random space-time portals the Empire is experimenting with and spawning all around the planet? If you think you can, try to put an end to this madness. This very facility manufactures some key components needed to create those portals. Try to stop it somehow. Good luck.
Okay, so the mission is converted into something like usual, find and stop the facility. By the way, here is the first Easter egg, which is not really a secret, but for those, you see that the switch for this door is only on this side, not on the other side. But if you are fast enough to close it and still escape outside, you will see you'll see the little bit of fun, my signature, but also you cannot not make fun of the text file which was included in original Minds. Anyway, let's go. Nothing special to do yet here. This is not even a secret here. This is supposed to be taken, but I have full shields anyway, and already the Imperials spot me. So now this part of the level is fairly standard Dark Forces. Lots of shooting with the rifle. Okay, we know there are two guys. Okay. By the way, if you wondered why these doors open downwards and not upwards, the answer is fairly simple, because there is not enough room. They would otherwise pop up out of the base. And I typically hate such omissions in levels. When doors just like. Are they made of fabric, and do they roll onto some kind of a cylinder or what? If they don't pop up when they slide upwards. Okay. Anyway, this is the first central hub of the map. There are a couple of directions you can take here. First of all, this door requires the blue key, and the door behind it requires a yellow key as well, a little bit later, so I'll first go ahead and collect these two keys. And here also we have a first secret, here behind this shield and some detonators, which will be quite useful later. Okay, let's first collect the blue key. Two ways to go from this elevator. One is closed by the force field, which is still activated, but we can take care of that quite quickly. Here we've got a switch which disables it. So I try to use this this label here to indicate that something relevant is happening here, and if you otherwise you would think this is maybe a dead room, but actually, yeah, I try to know that something is important here. And indeed, if you flick this switch, you see that the force field has been disabled for the other room. Now we can enter this one as well. I don't have to be very careful with my health here. You'll see shortly why, if you already haven't discovered the point yourself. Okay, those who have played this level and my previous level, the lava planet, the ATS2, will maybe recognize that many of these textures have been recycled from there. There is a question: what does the text say? Is it real Arabesh. Yeah, it is. I downloaded the font, Arabesh font, and I just wrote some random stuff, something like, I think in Lava Planet it even makes some sense. So no parking here, and note that the something like compressor is always in on position when opening door, something like that. But anyway, the here I didn't write new ones. I just recycled them. Okay, and this officer carries, or carried rather, in the past tense, the blue key, so I can pick it up. I cannot reach those droids here, but what I can do is reveal the next secret. There is a switch down there, which if I shoot, it opens the door which was formerly closed down there. Here. And it has a nice convenient revive. Okay. One key in the pocket. And let's go collect the other one. The other one is in the sewage area. What is a DF level without sewers? Oh yeah, I'm as agile as always. Left back on the elevator. Okay, here. The idea is to go further down there, but there is the turret, which the lighting has been adjusted in its distance so that it spots you at the moment you jump down from the the first waterfall, or sewage fall rather. So it's a little bit of a, let's say, surprise element if you don't use your infrared goggles, which you should. Also, if you use infrared goggles, you'll spot these mines here soon enough, so you can try to disable them. If not, they will, yeah, you will find them soon enough. Okay, another bit of my favorite where lighting is like in this triangular shape. There is nothing else to do there behind. Just have to go here. Here is another secret. Having some more shields for you. And here then it leads us to the water tank. Guarded by some droids, and with a well-timed jump you can get up there. Okay. I know some people hate these things, but yeah, it's my signature thing, you know. Okay, let's go on. Okay, some folks to get rid of here. Nothing special, nobody carries a key or something. There is a switch here which changes the level of the water in this huge tank. It actually doesn't serve any purpose. It's just here for fun. If it's fun for you changing the level of water in a tank, you can have fun all day long, but without any effect to the game itself. Okay, in this next area is also, it has a turret, and the idea is that you discover it and you get rid of it, and you finally are happy that you. Okay, but the point is, as soon as you do that, there is another nasty surprise. Commando with the concussion rifle, so it's also something to surprise the player. Another secret here. Shields, which are quite welcome after this confrontation with the turret and the concussion guard. Okay, it leads to the next door. Here we're still in the dark, so it's quite a convenient place to use the newly acquired concussion rifle. Actually, it will be useful all around the level. Okay, 3 ways to go here. I'll go one after the other and explain something. So first one actually lets us open the second one, and nothing special here, just a couple of Imperials to get rid of. In order to open this door here, which leads to the next section, all three switches have to be flicked. It's not really, the order is not really important. And the the idea was just to make it like some feeling that it's really an important area to go to reach. Okay, let's go now in this so-called important area. There's lots of troops here, and this is the area where the officer with the key is. This one here behind the window will come to a bit later, but this is something like a control center where you can pick the yellow key. Now there is a bug here in this area, namely what happened to me once when I already submitted the level is that this officer carrying the key died exactly in this area which I'm pointing now here. So the key somehow got trapped in this small area, and actually since its altitude is a little bit underneath this projection hollow screen, it's actually impossible to reach it. So it is possible to have this. I should have created some kind of hidden invisible fence to avoid the officer from dying here, but somehow that officer managed to die exactly at this spot, and which makes the key unrecoverable and level unfinishable. The other bug here is the fence. So this segment of the fence is fine from this direction, but from this direction it's mysteriously up there. Okay, but the key is in hand. The only thing remaining here is a bathroom, and as we know from Dark Forces, the only purpose of bathrooms is to contain secrets. And here's another one. Okay, having both keys, or rather all three of them, because the first one was still picked in the mines, we're ready to go further, or back to where we stopped and open these locked doors. No generators here, I don't like them too much, so it's quite safe to return all the way back. Yeah, by the way, that officer spawns on all the difficulties, so yeah, I made sure of that this time. Speaking of difficulties, there is really not huge difference between difficulties in this level, so it is maybe a little bit different, but not much. I'll take care of first troops like this, and then the rest with rifle. Okay. Another one of my favorites. I like using such. Such, let's say, corridors or hallways which with gradient lighting. W diffuse does it quite nicely, or let's say it makes it easy to do something like that, and I think it's quite a cool effect. Even though the lighting is the same actually, so these ceiling lights don't change, it's still somehow a nice effect, at least in my opinion. Yeah, I see we've got some more gradient lighting fans in the audience. Thank you. Okay, here we can get rid of most enemies by just shooting explodable stuff like this. There is no way to reach actually the outside, so it's just for decoration. Most things also here are these labels also don't signify anything. They're just for decoration again. Also these doors not openable really. Just to add some detail around this Imperial freighter. Another secret is here, and here I made also one mistake, that this hides a mortar gun, which will be quite useful later. But I made it unfortunately the way that it's possible to pick it up without actually really entering the secret sector, which may, if players do that, they may discover all secrets, yet the secret counter will not really show 100%. So another thing I discovered only after I had submitted the level. Okay, this elevator takes us further. As you see, pretty linear so far. So once you go through these doors from that hub, from the central concourse, it's quite straightforward where you need to go. There's typically one set of doors you can go. Okay, this is an exception. This door here, this room here behind is fully optional, but it's useful to take a couple of goodies here. Nothing unusual. And this door, this red door, is typically this door is the one that requires the yellow key. So if we hadn't had the yellow key by this point, we'd have to backtrack all the way into the sewers and back behind these water tanks and so on to reach the yellow key. But fortunately, we haven't. Okay, some more Imperials behind here. There's a concussion guard there. In the darkness. Again, the idea is to surprise the player rather than just, you know, have another enemy somewhere. So again, my obsession with gradient lighting comes here into effect. As you see, the hallways becomes brighter as I move towards the door. But again, anyway, the only way further to go is towards the power or reactor area. No difficult enemies here yet. Okay. So again, these doors are locked, or let's say not openable at this moment. The only way player can go is open this huge door, which opens slowly for a reason, because there is an officer that you will probably focus on first. But the point is that probably distracts you from noticing that there is also a turret in the ceiling, which should also be a little bit of a surprise. Unfortunately, often the auto aim by Dark Forces already reveals the presence of this turret, because it automatically aims towards the ceiling, even though you are aiming at the officer. Actually, it is possible, if you are aligned correctly, it will reveal the presence of the turret. Okay. When you see this in Dark Forces, you know what you need to do. You have to place sequencer charges, which conveniently Kyle always carries with him in abundance. I guess he goes to empty the dustbin, carrying some sequencer charges. Okay, as soon as I place these, the door back there will open and reveal two Dark Troopers. And the idea is that if you just place it and rush back, then they will be, let's say, to some extent dangerous. But if you keep a cool head and just stay here, you will notice them in time if you're just careful and patient, so you can attack them from distance. They cannot really harm you from this position. And as we know, they cannot use elevators, at least not. Okay. Yeah, as said, the idea is, I didn't want to make this level extremely difficult to play, really, but to reward the players who are patient or just keep a cool head and remain there. They can take advantage of staying inaccessible for the Dark Troopers. But if they just rush back to see what has happened, then they will be surprised by the Dark Troopers and attacked. But still, it's not too difficult altogether. Okay, as soon as this sequencer charges are in place, the way to go further is this door. So this door has opened in the meantime. That is the very reason why, from that point onward, this door is locked. So to prevent the users from thinking that now that they have done it, they have placed the sequencer charges, they just have to escape the same way they came from. So no, this is intentionally locked now to let them know that they actually have to find the other way out in case they didn't notice that these doors haven't really opened. Okay, so we passed these doors, and another secret is here. Some more shields and some more doors. I like adding some, let's say, useless doors around levels. It somehow makes them more At least to me, it makes them a little bit more realistic looking. I would imagine there are lots of doors leading, and here in the area where something so important like sequencer, like power couplings are. All right, so far so good. I think that was the last secret. Yes. Okay, I've showed all the secrets. We can go on now by this elevator. And we come to some kind of a reception area. Now you may ask the question, why do we have this force field here? And it can be just disabled here. Well, to me, the logic I followed was that if you are in the core, if you're coming from the core or central part of the base, and you are leaving towards outside, then mostly you will have to, of course, open the force field from the inside. You're not really, you're leaving the center of the base rather than entering the core of the base. So mostly it will be unlocking from inside out rather than from outside in. Somehow, I think it makes more sense than locking from outside. And another thing, which is this area is completely optional. Nothing special about it. A little bit of opportunity to restock. But why I made it is because I love somehow closing the level, in the sense that you can come to the familiar area. If you follow all this path here, you will recognize that we came to the area where the mission started from. So here you can see that it was all that area we passed from, where there is a slave and so on. So it's here not only to somehow close it or to somehow connect everything in the player's mind, and it's always a nice, in my mind, it's always a nice thing to do, but also to let the user search for some more secrets if they've missed any. So yeah, that's about it. So we can get back to this hangar area. These doors don't really are not really passable. The only way, again, quite linear level, is to go here. Everything else is just decoration to make it somehow feel that you're really leaving the core of the base. And notable here, I try to emphasize or remind the player that it's still that here on this part of the planet, on this continent, it's daytime. It will become important later. Okay, this corridor. There is one stormtrooper here. This force field here cannot be opened, but it's here for a very good reason, because when we enter here, I needed to somehow, as you will probably know if you already played this, as soon as you move away enough from the door, Kyle will be trapped by the Imperial. So I had to somehow explain that someone could have really reached the other side of the door. They couldn't have, materialized, or those guys killed down there couldn't have come back to life, but someone, just rushed in from behind that force field and locked the door. So Kyle is essentially trapped, and this leads to the only, well, let's say, bit more complex puzzle in this level, and it's about adjusting these columns. By the way, Kyle says, yeah, the sequence charger is ticking and I need to escape, but the idea is behind it is just to somehow, maybe bring some excitement, but there is no, of course, no explosion timer. Kyle has his whole life to contemplate this puzzle if he wants to. Okay, so a little bit of playing around this puzzle will reveal that you have ways to to regulate the height of these 4 columns using these switches below. And there are clues for the correct answer in the room. So there are 4 such labels, or let's say textures. The bottom shows the order from left to right, and the above, these horizontal lines show what the intended height of those columns in the puzzle screen. So it says for the second one, 2, for the second column we need height of 6, for the 4th column height of 1, for the 3rd column 2, and 4 blocks high for the 1st column. So I will now adjust it and then So 4, 6, 2, and 1. And that solves the puzzle. By the way, it's 4, 6, 2, 1. And if you think what is the 4th level in the alphabet, what is the 6th level in the alphabet, it's D and F. So it's D, F, 2, 1. So a little bit of a wink to the community. Okay, solving this puzzle reveals the familiar switch, and as soon as you see this palm, you know it's something very important. So as soon as you hit it, the escape route opens for Kyle by another portal. Okay, now Kyle observed that it's nighttime in this part of the planet. So got teleported very far away. The idea is also somehow to immerse player into something completely new. That this is not just, you know, like 1 kilometer away or 100 meters, 100 meters away, where you can expect some troops around, but rather that this is something completely different. Even though, yeah, if it was daytime, it would have worked as well. But somehow I just found it cool. Some detonators to pick here. They will be useful, as will be visible in a moment. Nothing here otherwise to pick. This is just a boring lake. There's only one way to go. Those who have played my previous levels know this texture very well. I love using these dark textures, these darkened rock textures, because they allow keeping the level quite dark even when the light level is actually when the light level is actually high enough. The light level, I mean, of dark forces. So what it allows is making the level quite easily playable, or at least way it makes items easy to see, whereas the level still remains dark. So it's in my view more effective than using the standard white textures from the detention center and then putting the brightness level down to 5 or something. Okay, this leads to the area where again there is only one way further from, even though these chains maybe make think otherwise, but this is intentionally closed that way. So but again, I try to make it somehow realistic in the sense that there is at least an idea that something could have come through here at some point in the history to reach this abandoned mine, rather than having a you know, a mine which is closed in itself. So or just like rooms full of Imperials that can be reached only through a window. So I try to avoid such mistakes. Okay, this leads into a derelict and abandoned mine, which is full of corpses, but there are still some remotes. I think I cleared away all of them, and there are mines. If you just turn on the infrared goggles, you can see there are some mines. It's actually easier to clear most of them from here. Okay. I think I've cleared most of them. Okay, this one not yet. I mean, it's possible to do it also from the floor, but then you have to be twice as cautious because some of them are hidden, or let's say placed behind these little steps, behind these little these little patches or whatever it is. Okay, one door to reach here, and it leads us to another, well, a familiar thing from Groma's mines, the rotating drill, which is from which we use as a platform to jump on. There is another switch down here, because if you happen to fall down into the water without turning the drill on and effectively soft locking yourself, that other switch allows you to turn it on as well. So you're not really, you don't have to abandon the level. There is still like a way to finish it. Okay, standard jump, which I missed at first attempt, so let's try a second time. Is it even allowed to have a fish level without a spinning rotating elevator? Good question, Carpet. I'll note it. I'll try to include them. I'll try to include less of them in the future levels. Okay, not much else here. I think one or two more mines. And there's the final one, I think, here. So, okay, that's it. So, the idea to the atmosphere to convey here to the player is that they're somewhere in the middle of nowhere and they have to find a way to escape. So that is the atmosphere I tried to create by this whole area. Maybe it worked, maybe not, you tell me. But the idea is this is the final area where Kyle approaches the city and says, find some cities. Okay, I'll find some transportation here. Great stuff. And that essentially finishes the level, regardless of whether Kyle picked up the Death Star plans or not. I even had a brief idea to maybe not end here, but create some kind of a transportation to the outskirts of the city. But I was simply constrained by time, so it was already 25th or 6th of November, and I thought it was better to start wrapping up the level rather than trying to build something and never finish it. Okay, that completes the level. I think, yeah, I didn't miss any secrets, and yeah, said about the Easter eggs. For those for whom this seems familiar, this is of course the texture from the lava planet. It's the Narshada texture from the lava planet, and I just reused it here. Okay, any question, folks? I'll be happy to answer. Just simply write them in the chat. The music actually I composed myself. I won't even hide that it was very much inspired by existing Dark Forces music and the TIE Fighter, of course, and it was a nice opportunity to finally use some of the music arrangement, classical arrangement knowledge I gathered. I learned some 20 years ago. So yeah, I found a very nice, convenient way to actually compose. It's the software is called, if you're interested in the same thing, Aria Mestosa. I think that's the correct pronunciation. It's a freeware software you can find and download, and it works perfectly, absolutely perfectly with the touch screens with the pen. So I happen to have one, and it makes composition extremely fast and comfortable. So it's you just draw notes, on the screen on the musical notation. It automatically converts it into notes, and you can listen to what you're doing. So it actually went quite quickly. I even had that was also an experiment to see whether the idea works for whether the idea would work for my next level. And yeah, obviously it does. The thing is, it was too complex to try to integrate the markers, the composition markers which Dark Forces uses to switch from the stock to the fight music and back. So for those who are not familiar, Dark Forces has two soundtracks which it switches between depending on the atmosphere. If there is two or more enemies looking for Kyle, then it's action music, otherwise it reverts to the stock music, and it's controlled by some MIDI commands which are in the music. But it was simply too short time for me to experiment with that, so I just wrote this 3 or 4 minutes of this music and made it work for the entire level. Okay, any other questions? Did you use another mission as a base? Yeah, I used mines as a base, as it was anyway mandatory by the contest. But to answer your question more properly, no, I didn't use any level. But luckily for the contest, the time when the contest was held, so in November of 2022, it coincided with some private reasons why I had to be mostly confined to home. And so I used the time to develop a lot. But you know, also to answer the question properly, Carpet, you are, I think, the main to thank for that, because with the old WDiffuse editor, probably I wouldn't have even developed 1/4 of it. But with these new workflows, and I developed one little helper which helps me pick textures quickly and does some work automatically for me. It really went fast, and lots of it I could leave to automation. So yeah, actually within 25 days or so I managed to do all of it. Yeah, exactly. As you said, 3D preview, especially for the texturing. I somehow have allergy on bad texturing, and it makes texturing so much faster when there is a when there is a live preview. So definitely a great help. All right, this ends the level essentially. Any other question?
Kyle delivers the plans to the Rebel Alliance. Soon
What
after
would Kyle do? Deliver the plans. And with the amount of Death Star plans to collect in all the custom missions, I think the Alliance is already overwhelmed by the amount of Death Star plans they have in stock. The textures, the mostly are recycled from our previous levels. I maybe created 5 or 6, not more than that, for this level, mostly for the column puzzle and things like that. But everything else is recycled from the Lava Planet and from the ATS-1, but and a little bit from the other levels. All right. Anything else, folks? Okay, seems like not. Then thank you everyone for joining this stream. I'm looking forward to others having their own development commentary for their own entries for the contest. Okay, that's all from me today. Thanks everyone, and goodbye.